What is going on, everybody? Thank you again for joining us on another Sunday night. I know you're getting ready to watch your Hawks play in Game 7 against the 76ers, and so are we. But we're so happy to have you here talking with us on the UGA Sports call-in show. I'm Paul Maharry. There's Trent Smallwood. Happy Father's Day, Trent. You had a little one on the way. She's here now. You got 3 now. So congrats. Triple Father's Day for you today, man.
Oh yeah, yeah. The little one's 2 months old. She's starting to sleep a little better. So we're adjusting. 3 kids. You go from man-to-man defense to zone defense. It's a little different.
It's a little different indeed, man. Well, happy Father's Day to you, and happy Father's Day to all the fathers that watch us. And we've already got some comments coming in. Michael Bush saying happy Father's Day to everyone. Happy Father's Day back to you as well, Michael. But to get right into it, guys, big show for you. We've got the Rivals 5-Star Challenge. It was in Atlanta. Trent, what high school was it at?
Lakeside in Atlanta.
Lakeside in Atlanta. So Trent was there for both days. He was able to capture in as much as possible for that. We're going to touch on that, as well as big time official visitors in Athens leaving their official visits today. We're going to have a little bit of scoop on those guys. Jalen Walker, Tyler Booker. I mean, we're talking big name guys that were in Athens. As always, Dave McMahon, I think, will join us. I haven't talked to him. He might be working the golf championship. If he is, good for him. If not, maybe we'll hear from Dave. And then, as always, guys, the biggest topic of them all, we want to hear your questions. We want to see them in the chat. We want to talk to you on the phone. The line's open, 706-363-3773. But jumping right into it, Trent, want to talk to you about the Rivals 5-Star Challenge. Ton of Georgia prospects that were out there, ton of Georgia commits, ton of guys Georgia's looking at. Who stood out to you first and foremost? Who are the guys that really caught your eye that Georgia's looking at, or maybe Georgia needs to look at?
I'm gonna tell you that we had the Rivals Challenge on Thursday and the Underclassmen Challenge on Friday. Underclassmen Challenge was loaded with offensive line, just offensive line prospects all over the country.
Really?
I mean, it was truly amazing to see, 2023, 2024 kids that were out there that were, I mean, some of them are 6'6", 6'7", 350. I mean, it was just the offensive line class is special in those two. And a couple stood up. I got my notes right here. Just looking back over it, you had Walt Claire Flynn from Grayson
Man,
Center,
that kid.
2024 kid.
I know he's a 2024 kid, Trent, and I don't want to cut you off, but I feel like we've already seen this kid in camps for the last 3 years. He is somebody really special.
Yeah, he was one of the few 2024 offensive linemen that stood out, and he lined up at center most time. He held his own. I mean, he was really good. When you get to that age, their interior defense linemen are more trying to bull rush instead
Right,
of
right.
moves, and he was able to control a bunch of touted 2023 defensive tackles and held his own in there, and he looked really good. Um, and what you're talking about, I'll butcher his name. Iapani Lalelo. He's from
Yeah,
Hawaii.
yeah.
Uh, the kid, I think, had 2 or 3 offers coming in. One offensive line MVP, 2023 guard. I mean, he's good.
Yep.
Uh, I think that's going to change after this week. Um, you also had Cam Pringle from South Carolina. Another good one in the class. Uh, let's see, going down the list, you had
What about on Thursday? Any guys that are in this class of 2022 that you looked at and thought, man, this kid's really the real deal? I think that Georgia should take a bigger look at him, or what say
yeah,
you?
I mean, one kid that stands out in particular. There was only 5 or 6 wide receivers. Kojo didn't make it. So DJ Moore from Archer, I think I'd mentioned his name on here before. Back when we saw him I think it was you and I that went down to the 7-on-7,
Yeah.
maybe. But we saw Hustle Inc. play, and DJ Moore. He went through an ACL last year, and at the time he only had one offer. since. He's gained a bunch of offers, and now he's committed to Georgia Tech at right now. But he is a kid that stood out. I mean, he's got great speed. I mean, he's not the biggest kid, about 6 foot, maybe 175, 180, but he's got very good speed, quickness, good route runner, great hands. He is a guy that stood out on the offensive side of the ball in particular.
So, moving forward for Georgia, a lot of guys, after going to the Rivals Challenge, Rivals 5-Star Challenge, they ended up in Athens, or a little bit prior to that, they ended up in Athens taking visits, and visits were all over the place this weekend, guys. I've got to pull up a list because to be honest with you, there were so many kids there, and I just want to give you a couple names that we know were there that had a good time. I want to get to your questions too. The chat is already bumping, Trent, so we're going to get over to that in just a second. Just this weekend, June 18th, Tyler Booker, Keon Sabb, Jahad Campbell, Katron Allen, Evan Stewart, Shalik Knotts, Jalen Walker, Luther Burden. Could be, I don't know if we ever found out if he was on. He's supposed to be coming soon. But those names right there, just for this weekend, the IMG Academy kids came out in full force to Athens, and seems like they had a good time. Before we get to those guys, Trent, I want to get to a couple of our comments over here. SEC Dog says, Happy Father's Day, go Dogs. Barry Anderson, hope Shaw is leaning Dogs after this weekend. Go Hawks. Happy Father's Day from Barry as well. 404 Dog, Happy Father's Day. Right back at to all of you guys. Jordan Harris says, any new news on the recruiting front? We're getting to it, Jordan. Don't worry, my man. Barry Anderson says, Travis Shaw. They all want to know about Travis Shaw. Keon Sabb is another one, Trent, that folks are talking about in the chat. Let's see. And then Barry's talking about something about the actual season. He says, I know this is probably far-fetched, but do you think there is any way Pickens returns for his senior year next year? We'll get to that, Barry. Let's see here. You guys are talking. That's the good thing about the chat, man. You get Barry, Martin Arenado in the chat. Those guys just keep the chat bumping. They talk to themselves. I love it. I don't even have to talk to them half the time. Not that I don't want to. I really want to communicate with you guys as much as possible. Sometimes I miss it. So Barry and Martin are like my two moderators talking to each other over there. Trent, talk to us about the official visitors this weekend. What are you hearing? Any good news coming from Athens?
Yeah, I guess I could start out. Tyler Booker was considered kind of a long shot, and he's a big target for Georgia. And I think this weekend went very well for him, and I think it put Georgia right squarely in the mix. I know Florida's a team there, and several others, but he is a big target for Georgia, and I think they hit a home run on that visit, just getting themselves back into contention of being in that top 2 or 3 teams. I think there's still going to be work to do. He's not going to be announced anytime soon, but I think Georgia's right there in the mix for Booker. Sabb is a kid that I know that several schools are high on him, and rightfully so. He's a dang good player. I'm not sure. I think the visit went well, but I'm not sure I would be predicting him to Georgia at this time. Knotts is he's another excellent player. I think that's going with Kirby in town, and y'all know recruiting by now. He's going to bring top guys in week in, week out. But I think Knotts is definitely a player to watch when it comes to Georgia and their 2022 class.
Obviously, a guy that a lot of people want to talk about, Trent, for good reason, because we really talked about for so long how this defensive line class was coming together, or it could come together. You had a guy in Mykel Williams, Christian Miller potentially joining him out there at USC. Both of those guys are Georgia guys who we thought at one time had Georgia as number 1, and then now the board seems to have shifted a little bit at defensive line. Travis Shaw is the name that everybody wants to talk about now, and for good reason, too. He shot up on the Rivals rankings. I want to say he's 3rd overall now. Let me double-check that. Yeah, he's 3rd overall now. Everybody has him predicted to Clemson, but he did make a visit to Athens this weekend. Have you heard anything on that front?
Yeah, I think that visit went well. I think of course, you're dealing with visit highs on Sunday, and I think that's somebody they'll go back and they'll evaluate things. But I still think he has a visit to North Carolina, and and that's one that will have to be monitored closely. But I do think Georgia, kind of even the playing field with Clemson, from what I've heard. But of course, North Carolina's that team you have to watch. Defensive line it has been like the D line and the O line. Throw a needle in a haystack, see if you can find it. It's been kind of moving parts all over the place. I talked to Christian and Michael on Thursday, and Christian straight up came up and told me that he's only spoke to Kirby Smart one time in about the last 3 months, and then when it comes to Michael, it kind of surprised me, caught me off guard when I asked him, and he said that I asked him about Trey Scott, and he said that he's not talking to Trey Scott, he's talking to Dan Lanning, and they're recruiting him as a jack linebacker, strictly a jack linebacker now. So, which is kind of surprising because I thought he would kind of be that Malik Herring
Right.
DN type role, but he did say that Dan Lanning is heading his recruitment, and they are recruiting him at jack. So. And when we talk about lots of moving parts, it might even be a position change. So that's interesting. But I said, how firm are you to USC? And he just said, fight on. So
Yeah, I mean, obviously just committed. I don't know if he's going to immediately say, hey, yeah, I don't know, maybe a 7 out of 10. But I think for the most part, Georgia's still going to try to recruit him and try to build up this defensive line. Now, Trent, are there any other names out there? I hate to put you on the spot for this defensive line class because for so long we felt like we knew who this defensive line class was going to be. We knew the 4 or 5 guys. You had Tyree West, who is still committed. You have Christian Miller. You had Michael. I mean, you had all these names that you were like, man, this is going to be the defensive line class. And now it's all kind of gone crazy. We've lost Trent's video, but it's okay. I think he can still hear us. But what I was getting at was basically, Trent, you still with us?
Yeah, I'm coming. Hold on.
Okay, Trent's still with us. There he is. But no, what I was getting at was, Trent, was where does Georgia go now? And is it such a bad thing that Georgia kind of, I guess, sizzled out on Christian?
I mean, it just kind of shows you where their board is at right now. I think they feel like they have a legitimate chance for their top targets. The Travis Shaw, my mind's gonna go blank because I'm
Walter
not
Nolan
here.
potentially. I mean, he's still in the
Walker
mix.
Nolan, that's another one. I just think that each and every year you have these in-state guys that are I guess lower Rivals 250, or even like Michael is a 5-star at Rivals. But it's just Georgia's going to go after those top guys every single year, and I just feel that Walter Nolan and Shaw, just in particular, are just up on their board, and there's probably a couple others that.
Well,
Uh,
Aaron Bryant's one of them, I think, that's a
yep.
little lower ranked out of Mississippi that Georgia's looking at right now. And I'm looking over at the chat, and it looks like Blaine helped us out with. There goes Blaine, Aaron Bryant. So I didn't cheat, Blaine. I promise. I didn't see it till just now. But Aaron Bryant's another one. But it seems like to me, Trent, that this defensive line class that we thought was going to be number one all time Georgia history, everything. It seems like right now it's cooled down, but at the same time, they're now just shifting their focus to other 5-star kids. So, I think it's a wait and see approach is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, I don't think it's cooled off. I mean, of course, you don't have the guys on you don't have Bear on the commit list, and you don't have Michael waiting in the wings to commit, and you don't have Christian Miller waiting in the wings to follow him. Of course, that looked pretty on paper, but it might not necessarily be the top guys on Georgia's board. So I think they're still chasing their A targets, their top targets at the position, and if you can land on those guys, then of course you still knock it out of the park.
Trent, we've got a phone call coming in. I'm going to take that.
Okay.
Hello, you are on the air with Trent and Paul. What can we get going for you this Sunday evening?
I'm just calling to lord something over you two.
Oh, is this the boss man?
This is the boss man.
Roddy Nabolsi is on the line, folks. Hide your kids, hide your wives. Happy Father's Day to you, sir.
Thank you, baby. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm actually on my way. I can't be watching the show right now because I'm driving in the car. But I'm on my way to Sanford Stadium so I can hit golf balls into the stadium.
Oh, the Topgolf thing. You got invited to that, huh?
Yeah. I wish I had to pay for it.
Yeah, somebody. Yeah, no. Yeah, somebody told me. Yeah, somebody told me, Roddy, that it cost $100. Somebody invited me to play Friday night, and I was like, man, that'd be kind of cool to hit golf balls off of Sanford Stadium. And I think it was like $100. I stayed at home.
Yeah, well, see, that's why you're not getting a paycheck this week.
Fair enough.
So, there you go. But going out there, I know we broke the news Friday that the kids that were in town were going to get a chance to do that because, Friday night's the night they always go down and they see the light show and they play the recruiting video and they let them put on the pads and everything. And, they can't do the same type of ceremonies that the compliance is really weird. You can't let them go through the dog walk and stuff like that, but you can let them do some other stuff. So they get to see what the stadium looks like with all the lights and stuff. But, it's a little different because they have Topgolf there set up. So it's kind of neat that Georgia said, well, heck, let's just incorporate that into the system. So you got to see a little photo of Travis Shaw, the 5-star defensive tackle out of Greensboro, North Carolina, with a tiny, tiny little pitching wedge in his hand. He makes it look like it was a toothpick.
Yeah, I saw that.
Chipping balls. So that was pretty cool. So I'm on my way to do that. I want to see what these recruits thought, see how much fun it was, and maybe if that's enough to sway them to come to Georgia.
Who was the mastermind behind that, Roddy?
That's going to be Josh Brooks, in my opinion. I could be wrong, but some people were asking me, why were you so gung-ho about Josh Brooks getting the athletic director job? And part of it is, because I've known him for over maybe a decade or two. And it's not that we're best buddies or friends or anything like that. I just know him. It's somebody I know. But I actually followed his career when he left Georgia because when he went to Millsaps, he started the beer garden at Millsaps, which I thought was fantastic. And then he's been to other places. He's from LSU. And everywhere he goes, he is just innovative. When they had that first concert at Sanford Stadium, that was his doing. Having all the retired people, show up at Sanford Stadium to help people kind of have that same experience that we all saw when we went to Notre Dame. To have the gold, the Silver Dogs there. That's just the guy's always thinking. Now I don't know if he's a great hire. He's a great evaluator of talent. He's made one coaching hire, which I thought was fantastic. Although a lot of people gave him grief for letting the Petros, the track coach, get away, but he hired a fantastic track coach from USC. So on that minor little thing, he looks good. But I don't know if he made a mistake with the basketball coach or what he would do in any other position. But I just know the guy has great ideas. So I'm not saying this is his idea. I don't know. I don't talk to him. But I know that this is a good idea, and I love it. And I know that when he gave us an interview a year or two ago, off the record, he's like, yeah, I definitely want to get another concert back at UGA. So I know he wants beer in the stadium. It's just you're in a concourse that's only so wide. When you start adding beer to it, you have an issue.
Oh, my goodness, yeah.
And they can't, they let the kids sell it. I mean, you can't let the kids sell it because it's the young kids that work concessions because that's how a lot of the state schools fund their programs. They get a cut of the concessions. And then now we just drastically cut concessions back without cutting their deals, So now if you go to a game, it's going to be like the Masters, it's like, what, $2 or, for a Coke or $1 for a Coke or something, That's basically at cost.
Yep.
So, again, good ideas, trying to create that game day experience that fills the seats, which gives Georgia an advantage on third down.
And that's exactly right. Gives them the advantage. Topgolf gives them the advantage. Roddy, have fun, man. Enjoy yourself. I was going to text you earlier today, but I figured I would talk to you later on tonight at some point or something like that. So we wanted to wish you a happy Father's Day. I know Allie's proud to be your son, and we appreciate you letting us get on this YouTube channel and try not to ruin it as best as possible.
No, please. You can't make it any worse than I have. Appreciate the show, guys. Y'all enjoy it. Talk to you later. I'm going to go hit some balls.
All right, see ya. All right, folks, there was Roddy Nabolsi. Let me join my call back here. Hold on. Let me join my call. My meeting just ended. Trent, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, well, cool. Let me start another call, so if somebody wants to call in, they can. But no, that's Roddy. He's going over, and what you guys, we didn't even talk about this. I'm glad Roddy brought it up, was that whole Topgolf thing. Really kind of cool, honestly. I know you saw it, Trent. And somebody did hit me up, guys. This is the honest truth. Somebody hit me up on Thursday afternoon, I think, and said, hey, man, do you want to go to Topgolf at Sanford Stadium? And I was like, yeah, man, why? Yeah, sign me up. He's like, all right, cool. It's $100. And I was like, for how long? 60 minutes. I was like, dude, I'm not driving an hour and a half, Trent, to go shank some golf balls and get in trouble for hitting them into, not even on the field, hitting them somewhere else, and having Josh Brooks or some of his folks come over and get mad at me for that. But we've got some comments over here, Trent, I want to get to. Let's see here. Stacy Goble says, I am just ready for the season to get started. I feel you, Stacy. So to give you guys an update, I know we don't have a ton of viewers tonight. The Hawks are about to start. Trent's going to probably get off of here at any moment and just leave me by myself. He's a Hawks super fan. This man is he has a Trae Young shrine. It's like the Hey Arnold thing back in the day where I don't know what her name was, but she had the Hey Arnold shrine in her closet. He's got a Trae Young shrine in his closet that he broadcasts out of. So we do have to wrap this up soon so I don't make Trent mad. But wanted to talk to you guys about what we're going to do when the season actually starts. And I think what we're going to try to do is get this show on Saturday night after the games so you guys can call in. You'll have a lot more to talk about. We can talk about, the defense, the offense, if Georgia won, if Georgia lost. We want to talk to you guys as much as possible. Another thing I want to talk to you guys about real quick is we've got a sponsor now, guys. It's crazy. People are giving us sponsorships. I want to put it up on the screen real quick. I'm going to take your face away for a second, Trent. It is Mainstay Construction. They do roofing, siding, and gutters in the Northeast Georgia area. Just so happens to be my company. So, anyways, we've got a sponsor. So if you need roofing, gutting, or gutters, or siding, anything on the exterior of your house, give us a call, 678-539-0597. We'd love to help you out in any way that we can. Again, mainstayconstruction.net. We service the Northeast Georgia area for roofing, siding, and gutters. If anybody stops by your house, tells you need a new roof, give us a call. We'll come out there and take a look at it for you to make sure that is where you need to go. So thank you for my 10-second spiel there. We are a sponsored show now. We don't have your pie and Athens Ford and all that, but we do have a sponsor now, Trent, okay? Just so happens to be my company, but we have a sponsor, okay?
It works.
It works, right? It works. We've got Barry Anderson commenting over here. Oh, somebody asked, they said, who are the two starting corners against Clemson, Trent? I think we've had this question asked quite a few times. I'm going Kendrick and Ringo.
I mean, that's the two I would go with. I think I think Amir Speed is going to provide some depth, and I think Kimber will battle Ringo right there for that second spot. But I just think that size and speed and overall, I just think those are your two best corners on campus.
And I don't disagree. I think you definitely could see Speed and Kendrick out there. I definitely think Kendrick is one of the two defensive backs. He knows Clemson's offensive playbook because he was a wide receiver for them, and he knows their defensive playbook. Not that that would really help him playing defense for Georgia, but anyways, he knows their playbook. Clemson hasn't changed the offensive coach in what feels like 17 years, so they have the same playbook going on. So I think that that's where we're going to see Kendrick and Ringo. But like you said, I would not count out
He's also going
Speed.
up against these wide receivers. He's also going against these wide receivers every day in practice. So,
and man, so Barry Anderson says Rahm is leading the U.S. Open, and Trae Young will come up big tonight. Trent, before we let you go, Dave McMahon is working the U.S. Open, guys. He's not going to have stats for us this week. Before we let you guys go, Trent, predictions for the Hawks-Sixers Game 7?
Man, it's been so back and forth. It's hard to tell. I mean, I'm hoping. I think Trae Young needs some help. I think you're going to have to see Korver step up. You're going to have to see John Collins step up. But I mean, they've shown they can win in Philly. I don't think they can get down by 20 points like they did. I don't think Philadelphia will take the foot off the gas and allow that comeback this time. So I think you're going to have to get off to a fast start. I would love to say the Hawks are going to win this game and Trae Young's going to have a huge game. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Hawks.
Oh, you got the Hawks. Fair enough. Hey, guys, before we leave, put in the chat Hawks or Sixers, and then any last-second questions you have about Georgia football. We knew it was going to be a slow show tonight, guys, because of Father's Day. We want to wish everybody a happy Father's Day out there. You guys don't get enough credit for what you guys do day in and day out. And tomorrow starts Mother's Day again, all over again. So today was your one day. I'm taking your joke there, Trent. But, tomorrow starts Mother's Day all over again. Today was your guys' day. Hope you enjoyed it watching the U.S. Open. Maybe you got to take in Topgolf at Athens this weekend. Or maybe you're going to just watch the Hawks game with your kids and enjoy it. It's not very often we get to see the Hawks in any type of playoff, much less a Game 7 against the number 1 seed in the East. So it's going to be extremely fun. They said the game was supposed to start at 8. It'll probably start at 9:15 because that's how TV times are going right now. Barry Anderson says Hawks. SEC Dog says not an ATL or NBA fan, but good luck to the Hawks tonight. Happy Father's Day, everyone. Go Dogs. Guys, that's the name of the game. We'll be back really strong next week with a ton of content. But as for now, we want to celebrate you guys. Let you guys have all the fun. Let Trent go celebrate with his 3 kids and his wife. Happy Father's Day to you all from the UGA Sports staff. We'll be back next week to discuss more official visitors. We'll dive even more in depth into the guys that visited this week. Guys, I'm telling you right now, get over to UGAsports.com. $20, 21 cents. We'll get you in the door. We'll get you to see all the premium articles. It will get you into the UGA Sports Dog Event, the largest community of dog fans, the largest forum anywhere out there of dog fans, the UGA Sports Vault, where we've added Blaine Gilmer, Jed May, and Ben Bachman to the recruiting staff. They're putting out recruiting stuff like crazy. You're going to want to read about Tyler Booker's visit. You're also going to want to read about Jalen Walker. I'm telling you right now, guys, you're going to fall in love with Jalen Walker. I said it on this show, Trent, that Jalen Walker was going to be a monster. I don't know if you disagreed with me. Somebody did. I don't know who it was. It might have been Roddy. I don't know. I said Jalen Walker was a key, integral piece to this class. Lo and behold, he's recruiting like crazy. Everybody loves him. He's an SEC Media Days kid all day long. And I don't know. I'm not tooting my own horn here, but I am. So anyways, guys.
It reminds me a lot of Mikael Sherman's personality.
Yes.
Just a great kid and a leader that's gonna recruit for Georgia, and seems like he's firm to the Bulldogs, and just a great kid to talk to.
Great kid to talk to, and Trent, you're a great guy to talk to. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Happy Father's Day, and go Hawks. We'll talk to you next Sunday, 7:30. Thanks for joining us, guys.